On this World Autism Awareness Day, we come together to promote understanding, inclusion, and to celebrate every unique mind. It is a meaningful reminder of the importance of acceptance, compassion, and creating spaces where everyone truly belongs. In this spirit, we turn our attention to Seoul House Academy in Mokokchung, Nagaland, an inclusive institution established in 2016 and affiliated with Exceed, and guided by Principal Arenla Lemtur. The school serves students from nursery to grade 8, offering a well-rounded curriculum that nurtures creativity and critical thinking. We are truly grateful to have you with us today and sincerely appreciate you taking the time to share your insights. To begin, may we kindly invite you to introduce yourself to our listeners.
My name is Arenla Lemtur. Full name is Arenla, and I've been in this profession for the last 10 years. So this is, basically the world that revolves, around me.
Thank you so much. My first question to you is, could you kindly share how many students on the autism spectrum are currently enrolled in your school?
Specifically, autistic children, we have 10 of them. But children with special educational needs, we have a total of 25 students enrolled with us. And on the ASD, on the spectrum, we have 10 of them.
Thank you for sharing that. Numbers give us a glimpse, but the real impact lies in the support each child receives. So, what measures does your school take to support the academic and social development of the students?
When we talk of measures, we are not exactly a special school. We are an inclusive school. So inclusivity happens almost every day and every time inside the classrooms. But along with that, we have a team of support teachers. So the students not just get to have an opportunity to have equitable learning inside the classrooms, but they also get a special one-on-one therapy support classes with the learning support teachers.
Thank you for that insight. It's really inspiring to hear how your school is nurturing both the learning and social development of the students. So, my next question is, can you walk us through how you build a classroom environment that truly supports and includes children with autism?
I think my journey with inclusive education, it didn't start exactly when I started the school. It started somewhere maybe 4 or 5 years into the establishment of our school. But during that time when we had, a couple of children on the spectrum, we were not trained. We did not have the knowledge or the skills to teach or to handle children on the spectrum. So, with the help of my niece, who is a trained educator, a special educator, she helped me, she sort of like paved the way for me and then logistically gave me the support on how to set up classrooms or how to go about handling children or dealing with children with special needs. So, basically, it's a continuous learning journey for us. We are not exactly the experts in special education or in inclusive education. Every day we are learning, we're taking measures and steps, to ensure that Soul House Academy is a safe space for children with special needs.
Thank you for sharing that. It is inspiring to hear how you create a space where every child feels safe, supported, and included. Are your teachers provided with any special training to work with students on the autism spectrum?
My mainstream teachers are not exactly qualified on special education qualifications, but we do take measures and steps to ensure that they are trained. So we have, different sessions with them. But we have, like I mentioned, we have a learning support team. So constantly, my learning support team, three of them are there. One is from Keystone Foundation and two from ours. So three of them ensures that teachers are constantly being monitored, guided, supervised on how to handle the children with special needs almost every day for that matter. But as the management, we do try our best to impart special education training, whether it's online or whether it's physical. We do try to take measures for the teachers.
Ma'am, could you please tell us a little bit about the EXIT curriculum?
It's just any other curriculum, but Exceed is more focused on hands on experiential learning. That is the cut above the rest. And we don't follow the chalk and talk method. We follow a 50-50 teacher-student talk time. When you step inside Exceed classrooms, not only is it an hands-on experiential classroom, but then these are classrooms where, children come alive with their ideas, with their suggestions. Teachers and students are having discussions on certain topics pertaining to that subject. Basically, that's what Exceed is. It's a shift away from the conventional, traditional kind of classrooms.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, what challenges do schools commonly face in supporting children with autism, and how does your institution address these challenges effectively?
Challenges? Oh, when we talk about challenges, there are myriads and myriads of challenges. I don't know about other schools, but one challenge we face is obviously infrastructural challenges. Now, I don't know whether our school education board is strict on it or not, but then boards like Central Board of School Education, they're very strict on having ramps inside the school buildings, to enable students with physical disability. So those are the physical structural challenges, but society as it is, the mindset of the people. And I was just discussing about it with my learning support team last evening, that to make children understand and empathize children with special needs or children on the autism spectrum, that is not a challenge for us educators inside the purview of a school. But the challenge comes when we deal with parents who do not have children with autism, parents who do not have children with special needs, parents who have children just like you and me, like, quote unquote, normal children. Reaching out to them and to make them understand that your child is sitting in a class where there is a child with special needs. Your child is sitting in a class where there's a child on the autism spectrum. And so there'll be days, erratic days, when behavior issues will be there. Not with your child, but with the child with special needs, whom your child is sitting with. So you as a parent, and I'm also a parent, so we need to help our children understand and build empathetic values. And I find, very honestly, I find that lacking in our society. I find that lacking in most of our parents in our community. And so that is one constant challenge that we are faced with, and we try to tackle it. But then again, at the end of the day, we can't, point fingers. So whatever we can within the purview of our school, we're trying to take measures to overcome those challenges.
Thank you for sharing that so openly. It's so insightful to hear about the challenges and the proactive steps your institution is taking to address them. So my next question is, in your opinion, how important is awareness of autism in schools today?
I think it should be one of the core vision of any school leader, because everything trickles from the top, right? The school leaders need to be aware of this current issue. And this is a pertinent issue, this is not an issue that we talk about that's happening somewhere in the cities. It's happening in our doorsteps. So schools altogether, the wonderful thing about children is that they have the innate empathetic values in them. They already have. I think that's one of the qualities that God has blessed in them. So when it comes to dealing with children with special needs, they already know how to, be empathetic towards those children. So that is when the schools need to step in. When you already have children with those innate qualities of being empathetic, I think schools can only do nothing but just to amplify that. Take advantage of those students, take advantage of those children and those qualities. And then if we can amplify on that and start creating safe, inclusive spaces for children with special needs, I think our world would be a safer and a better place, I believe. Yeah.
Thank you for that meaningful insight. It truly shows how awareness can help create a more supportive and understanding space for every children. As the saying goes, different, not less. And your word It's truly and beautifully reflect that spirit. So, what roles do parents and the community play in supporting children with autism, and what initiatives does your school undertake in observance of World Autism Day?
The roles that parents play, I think I need to give a 10 out of 10 to those parents who have children on the spectrum. The kind of support that they render to the school and to the learning support team, it is a very, overwhelming experience for us, because the learning support teachers are the ones who, constantly reach out to the parents. And when I hear of, stories or anecdotes of incidents that happened in the exchange of ideas and concerns with the parents and how supportive they render, it's far beyond what we expect. But like I mentioned earlier, our concern is not with the children on the spectrum or the parents who have children on the spectrum. Our concern is more, towards the parents who are out of the purview of the spectrum. They have heard of it, but they don't talk about it. Or when they talk about it, it's mostly a misconception, And in our society, and especially in our dialect, we don't have a word for autistic children. I think the common term would be suar or mabansa, na, or tramishita. That word itself, it's a very derogatory, I think if we can come up with a different word for these children, I think that would be wonderful. And so when we talk about the role of the parents, I think that the mindset altogether needs to change, or the approach. Once the mindset changes, then I feel the approach will definitely change. Because when certain incidents happens inside the classrooms, they come to the school, they come to me and they say, I don't want my child sitting in that child's or in that girl's or in that boy's same classroom. And that's not the solution for us, right? That's not the rehabilitation has to start with both sides. We have to rehabilitate the boy's parent as well as the child on the spectrum. So I think there's a huge role that parents need to step up, adults altogether, not just parents. Adults need to step up in order to, bridge the gap of misconception on how to deal with the challenges that's occurring in our society when it comes to dealing with people on the spectrum. Yeah.
I've always wanted to, have this conversation so openly, and then I'm happy that I get to have this conversation with you on this platform today. So, basing on that, what message of hope and encouragement would you give to parents who have been blessed with a child on the autism spectrum?
There's a boy in our campus who is in grade 2 who is on the spectrum. He goes into this monthly cycle of tantrum and breakouts almost every month, and we brace ourselves. It's okay whenever that happens, because we see it, it's like a volcano. First the lava starts seeping out, and then only the breakout happens. The same happens with the boy. But that happens for just, 2 or 3 days on a stretch. But then we look at the remaining 19 to 20 days with the boy. The amount of intelligence that the boy has within him, the amount of creativity that's there in this boy, and he knows exactly when to say the right thing, you know, because whenever his breakouts happens, we get very strict on him there, and we do it in a very harsh tone because we have to, right? So, especially with me, so he knows that I'm the principal, and I'm the one usually who steps up to scold him, or to be a little loud on him whenever he has his breakouts. The next day, he'll come to me and say, "Good morning, principal ma'am. I love you. How are you?" And then he'll rush to me, trying to hug me or give me a peck on my cheeks. And that sort of like calms me down and makes me realize that there is a gentle human inside that autistic frame of this little boy. So we should not measure a child on the spectrum on the erratic behavior or the breakouts or the tantrums, periods of tantrums that he gets into. But we need to look at the other side of the coin. And if we flip that coin, then you see children who are creative, children who are very loving, who are very responsive, and if we just take a step back and try to understand them and be a little patient with them, then they're capable of doing far more incredible things and extraordinary things that we normal people can even imagine. So, as the motto of our school says, ignite the extraordinary mind. Whenever I sit or spend some time with the children on the spectrum, especially, that is when the motto of our school truly gets reflected, igniting the extraordinary mind. Because these autistic children, there's something extraordinary happening inside them. And I think we adults, we just need to take one step back, take out that blinds from our eyes, and then just see them through the eyes of the spectrum. And I think it's high time our society steps up doing that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Like hearing what you say, just got reminded that in a cruel world, always be kind. Yes.
Yeah.
And my final question is, could you please share a message to our radio listeners?
I think in a world of too many people with ideas and opinions to talk about, I think it's good to just sit, relax with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and then, just listen to what other people, have to say about certain issues. We don't need to always be the ones making the loud noise. Sometimes it's good to just sit and listen. And I think radio is one medium that helps us do that. And I hope that will continue or even revive listening to radio.
Thank you so much for your kind words. As we come to the end of this insightful conversation, we sincerely thank you for your time and for sharing such valuable knowledge and perspectives with us. Your words have truly helped deepen our understanding and reminded us of the importance and acceptance and inclusion. With that, we conclude today's segment on World Autism Awareness Day. This is AKASHVANI Mokokchung.